Good morning, everyone. We are very pleased today to welcome you, our special guests, our invited guests, our staff and students at Red River College, as we unveil a very large, and I mean very large, to the tune of 10,000 pounds large, airplane. But more importantly, a contribution that will have a significant impact on our students' lives and our academic programs for years to come at Red River College and our Stevenson Aviation campus. I'm your MC today. My name is Christine Crow, and I'm the Vice President Academic and Research at Red River College, and very pleased to be so. Today we gather here to express gratitude to the Swanberg family for their generous donation of this aircraft in memory of Sylvan and Dorothy Swanberg. Sylvan was the founder of Swanberg Air. We're honored to have with us today members of the Swanberg family, and I'd ask you to stand and be recognized. Anne Sawyer Swanberg, Sylvan and Dorothy Swanberg's daughter. Connor, grandson. Janet Gibbs, a long-term employee of the Swanbergs, and Lori Friesen, another long-term employee who works with the Swanberg family. Welcome to Winnipeg, and thank you for being here. Anne and Connor, with this donation to Red River College, I wanted to know a little bit about your father and grandfather and his legacy. And my research confirmed that Sylvan Swanberg was indeed an entrepreneur, a visionary, a lifelong learner, community-minded, and an individual who brought incredible impact to his family, his friends, and his community. Your father and grandfather's contributions to both the industry and his community are inspiring. And this donation shall continue to have an impact for Red River College and our students for years to come. We also welcome the employees of the Swanbergs, Janet Gibbs and Lori Friesen, who were instrumental in arranging for the donation and for the jet stream to be transported from Calgary to our hangar. Thank you for joining us today. I understand from Neil Lavoie, who's the chair of our programs here at Stevenson Aviation and at our Southport campus, that it was quite an effort to get this plane from Calgary to Winnipeg. And along the way, we kept getting photographs of how the plane was being dismantled in Calgary and how it was getting here. So I asked Neil what some of the challenges were that they faced as they were dismantling this entire plane to transport it to Winnipeg. Well, the first one was that they ran into a snowstorm on the way back, and they had to drive through this incredible blizzard to get this plane here. And then when they got the plane here and they rolled it into the hangar and they got it up on the hoist, the power went out, and they couldn't do anything with it. These are minor challenges compared to the incredible result that we have in front of us, the gleaming, sparkling joy that is the Swanberg aircraft that our students will train with. I'd now like to invite Paul Vogt, our President and CEO, to bring greetings and welcome on behalf of Red River College.
Well, thank you very much, Christine, and welcome everybody for being here today, and particularly the Swanbergs and the people from Landsman. This is a very exciting day for the college. Really, it's not every day that we're handed the keys to an aircraft worth several $100,000. And while thinking about this unveiling, I was thinking about an analogy to being handed the keys to the family car, but I can assure you that's not a very good analogy. I think when my father handed me the keys to the Chevy Malibu, I think there was one of those awkward moments where he kind of held on to them a little longer than was strictly necessary. But today we're getting an incredible addition to what is one of the finest aircraft maintenance programs in Canada. And I really wanted to thank the Swanbergs above all for their generosity and support. And it's great that you could be here for this unveiling. Your family has a long history in aviation in Canada, and I think it's a real tribute to your sense of what that legacy means in the past and what it can mean in the future, that you've made this donation and several others I know to support education that will go on helping people for generations who enter into the aviation field, support aircraft maintenance, aircraft assembly, and of course flight instruction. Now, it's also not lost on me that there were many, many hours that went into getting an aircraft like this disassembled, brought to Winnipeg and reassembled. And I really want to thank those here in our college and those involved in the entire process for the countless hours that they put in many cases outside of the hours that they're already putting in as teachers and as people running this facility. So thank you in particular to Neil Lavoie here at Stevenson and his program coordinator, Dan Hemmond, along with Charlotte, Nigel, Wendy, Dennis, Butch, and Gary for their leadership and support through the whole process. I also want to thank Landsman specifically for their expertise and support, and also Payne Transportation for stepping up at the last minute, really, to make sure that the rest of the equipment that are part of this donation got to Winnipeg. Just reflecting on the significance of this moment in the history of Red River College, we go back to 1938. And there is actually a book on the history of Red River College, which shows some of those early classrooms, and they actually kind of resemble the shops classrooms that I was attended when I was in high school, except without any of the safety requirements. And just thinking about it, sort of in this, sort of 80-year history. I don't think that there's many points when people would have imagined at Red River that we'd be receiving a donation like this, an aircraft worth $750,000 and other equipment that totals up to $1 million to train our students on. So it's really another marker of how far we've come and the way in which education takes place here. Red River, we are constantly reminding people throughout the community, has really become a driver of the Manitoba economy. And it's not just the skills, the education that's provided here. It's also the innovation that takes place, the applied research, and the way that increasingly we work with industry. Really, it's a hand-in-glove relationship with the aerospace industry is one of our great models for the rest of the college. And that's really what Red River has come to represent and will represent into the future with the help of this donation. So thank you very much again to the Swanberg family and to salute the continuing legacy that they've now extended to us here in Winnipeg. And also I want to recognize the students who are here and will benefit from this program and from this investment. Thanks to all of you today.
Thank you, Paul. I now invite Lori Friesen, on behalf of the Swanberg family, to bring her remarks.
Thank you, Christine. I'm here to bring readings from the Swanbergs. Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here today as honored guests, recognized for the donation of the BAE Jetstream 31 aircraft. It has been donated in memory of Sylvan and Dorothy Swanberg. With me is Sylvan and Dorothy's daughter Anne and their grandson Connor. Also with us here today is Janet Gibbs, a longtime employee of the Swanbergs. She started working for Sylvan in 1977, Over the years, she has spent much of her career employed with several Swanberg-related businesses and operating her own business ventures. My name is Lori Friesen, and I started working at Swanberg Air in 2002 and continue to work with Dean and Lauren Swanberg. Several family members' schedules did not allow them to attend. Among them are Sylvan and Dorothy's sons, Dean and Lauren, and daughters Sharon and Joan. Sylvan's first passion was the business world. His hands-on approach found him at any one of the businesses he was involved in on a daily basis. He was often seen at more than one of them on any given day. He was married to a very caring person, his wife of 50 years, Dorothy Swanberg. Dorothy was a wonderful, loving, and caring wife and mother. She was not involved in any of the businesses which Sylvan was involved in, but she was always close by and available for conversation and support whenever a person was to call upon her. Dorothy passed away in June of 2012. The Swanberg family ties to the transportation industries began with their grandfather, Sven Swanberg. He and a brother of 16 siblings moved from Norway to Canada in the 1920s. The two of them traveled by ship to Halifax and then by train to Calgary, where his brother Erling decided to reside. Sven decided to homestead northwest of Grand Prairie, Alberta, in the Valhalla Center area. By 1935, he had sold his homestead, bought his first truck, and moved into the Valhalla Center. He had slowly purchased additional trucks, and by 1950 had moved the company and family to Dawson Creek, British Columbia. By 1955, Sylvan and his older brother Orville had taken over the trucking company from their father and renamed it Swanberg Brothers Trucking Limited. By this time, the majority of the trucking that the company was doing was for the oil and gas industry. The company continued to be family-owned and managed until 2005, when it was rolled into Producers Oilfield Services. Sylvan's first venture into the aviation industry was in the late 1970s. A Bell 47G helicopter was purchased for use with the Oilfield Trucking Company. The helicopter was owned for several years, and Sylvan took every opportunity to ask the pilot and AME many questions, fly the right seat, and soon was trying his hand at the controls. The first airplane was purchased in the early 1990s as a result of the need by one of the Fort St. John-based construction companies that Sylvan owned. The company operated mainly in the North Helmet area, which is in the very northeast corner of British Columbia, northeast of Fort Nelson. As a result of the distance, travel, and time delays, a Piper Aztec was purchased. The Aztec was soon replaced with the Piper Navajo Chieftain. Sylvan spent as much time as possible in the right-hand seat of both planes, again asking questions, and where there were no passengers along, spent time at the controls. With the increased business activity and obvious benefits of air travel, a second aircraft was purchased, a Piper Cheyenne III, for use on longer flights. He then launched Swanberg Air in 2000, at which time he began purchasing Jetstream 31s. At the same time, he started up Sandspit Adventures, a fishing resort in Sandspit, Haida Gwa, formerly the Queen Charlotte Islands. Sandspit Adventures was able to offer direct flights from Grand Prairie to Sandspit, with Swanberg Air supplying the charter flights. People could depart Grand Prairie, and within 3 hours they'd be out fishing in the ocean waters. Swanberg Air began operations as a charter company in 2000, and on November 5, 2001, added a scheduled flight between Grand Prairie and Calgary. Over the years, additional scheduled services were added with flights to Edmonton, Vancouver, Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, Fort Nelson, Red Deer, Swift Current, Regina, and Estevan. The company continued to offer charter flights for crew changes and cargo deliveries, mainly to the oil and gas industry. Swanberg Air operated a total of 8 aircraft, including a Canadair Challenger 601, 4 Jetstream 31s, a Piper Cheyenne III, a Piper Navajo Chieftain, and a pressurized Navajo. Sylvan remained active in several companies, including both Swanberg Air and Sandspit Adventures, until his passing in April 2011. After Sylvan's passing, it was decided to cease operations of both Sandspit Adventures and Swanberg Air. Swanberg Air made its last flight on December 2nd, 2011. Sylvan was a true entrepreneur and was always ready to try a new business venture. Throughout his career, Sylvan was involved in many other businesses. He had partnerships in a trucking company in Prince George, a gravel crushing and sales company in Fort St. John, a Freightliner truck dealership with operations in Fort St. John and Grand Prairie, and 3 construction companies at various times, which were based in Fort St. John, British Columbia, and 1 in Grand Prairie, Alberta. He strongly believed in all aspects of learning, including continuous education, training, and practical knowledge. He also believed that a big part of learning is asking questions when a person is not familiar with something or uncertain of what is expected of them. Sylvan was never shy to ask a question. There have been 4 aircraft donated to the 3 colleges and 1 technical school in Canada in memory of Sylvan Swanberg. To SAIT in Calgary, Alberta, donation of a Canadair Challenger 601A. To Northern Lights College in Dawson Creek, British Columbia, donation of a BAE Jetstream 31. To Okanagan College in Vernon, British Columbia, donation of a BAE Jetstream 31. And lastly, to the Red River College in Winnipeg, Manitoba, donation of a BAE Jetstream 31. It has been said that in years to come, many AMEs will cross paths and will be quite often heard to say, I trained on a Swanberg Air aircraft when I was in school too. It is with great honor and pleasure that the Swanberg family is able to donate this aircraft in memory of Sylvan and Dorothy Swanberg. It is their hope that students will be able to learn and train on this aircraft for many years to come.
Thank you, Lori. I'm sure there will be many questions asked as students are training on the aircraft. I now invite Justin Hatch, a current student studying aircraft maintenance engineering at Red River College, to share with us how he feels about his new training platform and how it will make a difference for him and his fellow students. Justin?
Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is thank you to our wonderful faculty here for asking me to do this. It's really an honor that you guys think highly of me and are asking me to do this in general. So yes, I'm in the maintenance engineer program here. My class is currently in our 4th term, and come January, we'll be graduating and looking for jobs. So it's kind of a scary position to be in for us right now. To tell you a little bit more of myself here, I'm also a peer tutor at the school, and I've participated in Skills Manitoba through Stevenson as well. So I've spent a lot of extra time here at the school and kind of learned the ins and outs a bit. The staff here has been absolutely amazing, and it's one of the reasons I've enjoyed my time so much. The amount of knowledge and diversity of experience our instructors have really means that none of our questions go unanswered. And just a shout out to our office staff as well. You guys are absolutely wonderful, and you've helped out so many students, and it's really meant a lot to us. The biggest thing about being here at Stevenson is it's really a different feeling compared to your standard college life. We're kind of in this isolated building away from the main campus. We're our own little community out here, and we kind of have to take care of each other. So we help each other out the best we can. For the most part, our instructors are tough but fair with us. Most of them are pretty quick with a joke too. But for us as students, there's also a standard of quality that needs to be met. And after all, we are going to be working on aircraft that fly once we do leave here. Future career aspirations for me have really gotten to the point with the quality of training here that I would be honored to come back and even be an instructor one day. So moving on, I'll actually talk about why we're here today. The dedication of our beautiful new Jetstream. And when it first arrived, there was kind of a feeling of excitement in the air amongst the students. For most of us, it was like getting a new toy to play with. We're like kids all over again, except now we're just a little bit bigger kids and we have bigger toys. This donation means that newer technology and different equipment is available to us at this training stage in our lives. And even with Stevenson in general, we're very lucky to have the size of fleet that we do here and the amount of equipment that we do. So on behalf of the student body here at Stevenson, I'd just like to personally say thank you to the Swanberg family for this extremely generous donation. Really, it means a lot to us, and it ensures that future generations that come through these doors will get to train on quality equipment as well. So thank you guys so much. And in closing, I'd just kind of like to say thank you again to the incredible staff here. You guys really make this school what it is. It wouldn't be the same without you guys. And thank you again for the opportunity to speak in front of you all today and to give you my opinion of our school. Thank you.
I can't think of any better testimonial for the quality of our programs and the quality of our teaching. Thank you to the faculty and the quality of our students. Thank you, Justin. I think you chose well when you donated to Red River College. I know you chose well. And our students will be proud to say they worked on a Swanberg aircraft. And we are proud to have the quality of our programs and our students and our faculty and our administration who support that work every day so that others can believe in the journey of lifelong learning and can, as Justin will, be leaders in industry. And Justin, you're always welcome to come back. On behalf of Red River College, again, thank you for the donation. Thank you for the opportunity to honor you today for making the trip here to Winnipeg. Thank you to all of you for witnessing this exciting event. And thank you for your time and effort to the crew who dismantled and put it back together, who drove through snowstorms and made it happen. Thank you again to Neil Lavoie, Charlotte Rosen, Daniel Hammond, and Janice Manson for preparing and executing the event today. Please join us for refreshments, and you're welcome to take a closer look at our new Jetstream. Welcome, Jetstream, to Red River College. Thank you all.